Broadcast is live now. Yes. So
just hold on.
So we are very happy and we have honor to host Geshe today, and uh, my pranams and my homage to Lord Buddha, His Holiness Dalai Lama, and all the venerable gurus. Now, I think हमारे साथ राहुल हैं जो गेशेला का इंट्रोडक्शन पढ़ेंगे. राहुल, you can go ahead.
आज हमारे बीच में आध्यात्मिक दुनिया के जाने माने गुरु गेशे दोरजी दामदुल उपस्थित हैं. स्पीक में के परिवार से ऑनलाइन जुड़ने के लिए हम सम्माननीय बौद्ध भिक्षु गेशे दोरजी दामदुल के आभारी हैं. सम्माननीय गेशे दोरजी दामदुल नई दिल्ली स्थित परम पावन दलाई लामा के सांस्कृतिक केंद्र तिब्बत हाउस के निदेशक हैं. सम्माननीय गेशे दोरजी दामदुल ने बौद्ध धर्म, विज्ञान, तर्कशास्त्र, दर्शन शास्त्र में करीब 35 साल की पारंपरिक शिक्षा ली है. कर्नाटक स्थित डेम्प्रो मोनास्टिक विश्वविद्यालय से अपने गेशे लारंपा पीएचडी की उपाधि प्राप्त कर उन्होंने वरीय तिब्बती विद्वानों के सानिध्य में हिमाचल प्रदेश स्थित धर्मशाला के ग्यूमेद संस्थान से बौद्ध तंत्र शास्त्र का अध्ययन किया है. 2003 में परम पावन दलाई लामा के कार्यालय ने आपको कैम्ब्रिज विश्वविद्यालय भेजा, जहां गिरटन कॉलेज में वे 1 वर्ष तक विजिटिंग फेलो के रूप में रहे. आपको 2005 से परम पावन दलाई लामा के आधिकारिक अंग्रेजी अनुवादक के रूप में नियुक्त किया गया. तब से आप परम पावन दलाई लामा के लिए अनुवादक के रूप में कार्य कर रहे हैं और साथ ही साथ तिब्बती से अंग्रेजी में कई भारतीय मूल के ग्रंथों जैसे कि आर्य नागार्जुन रचित मूल माध्यमिक कारिका और आचार्य शांति देव की बोधिचर्या अवतार जैसी दुर्लभ पुस्तकों का अनुवाद भी कर रहे हैं. मार्च 2011 में उन्हें तिब्बत हाउस नई दिल्ली के निदेशक के रूप में नियुक्त किया गया है. सम्माननीय गेशे दोरजी दामदुल ने देश और विदेश के अनेक विश्वविद्यालयों और संस्थानों में बौद्ध दर्शन से संबंधित पाठ्यक्रम के क्रियान्वयन एवं अनेक महत्वपूर्ण ग्रंथों के लेखन व संपादन में सक्रिय रूप से अपना योगदान दिया है. Now I request Geshe Dorji Damdul to please address us, enlighten us. Thank you.
Yes, Geshe, you can speak now.
My dear young brothers and sisters, it is a great joy for me to be a part of Speak McKay. It has been several years that I'm associated. Okay, sorry. This is the point to connect the internet connection. It is such a joy for me to be a part of Speak McKay. Speak McKay, which all of you, the viewers, the young viewers, you're aware that was created by Professor Kiran Seth and being supported by his well-wishers and friends, volunteers like Mr. Pangaji and all the wonderful volunteers, amazing good heart. It has been several years that I've been a part of Speak McKay. It is such a joy to be part of this for the reason that It involves youngsters, young boys and girls who are the future of the world. And today, Speak McCain, Mr. Pangaji, on behalf of Speak McCain, requested that I speak to the youngsters on universal ethics or secular ethics. So for this topic, I like you to just come along with me and imagine that it is day one you are born on this earth. Day one you are born on this earth. So for me, day one I was born on this earth. I don't have a philosophy. I did not have religion. Any of these identities. But the day when I was born crying. Likewise, each one of you, when you were born crying. If you don't cry, somebody will slap you. You know why? Because if you don't cry, your respiration, there's a problem with your respiration. So somebody will slap you to make you cry. When you cry, there's a reason why you're crying. This is the basic desire that we have. If somebody asks you, what is the purpose of your life? For sure, I want to become a bureaucrat, I want to sit for the IS exam, I want to become an entrepreneur, and I want to become a politician, I want to become a businessman, a professor, and so forth. Then if I ask the second question, why do you want that? Why do you want to become a businessman or an environmentalist or the educationist and so forth, or singer, painter, and so forth? You will say that makes me happy. So this is the underlying force, underlying commonality among all the human beings, whether you're Buddhists, Hindus, Muslims, Jains, Christians, Sikhs, Jews, Baha'i, the Parsi, or non-believers. It doesn't matter. Everybody, one thing which is in common. Day one we are born. Day one we are born with a common feature, common aspiration. That is, I want to get rid of my suffering and I want to have the maximum happiness. This is how we are born on this earth. So if you agree with me, then we'll move to the next step. That connects us to the secular ethics or the universal ethics. If you agree with this, then the next question is that we all aspire, we all seek to get rid of the suffering and to have the maximum happiness. So my question to you, okay, and as I ask question, I request you to be, if possible, to be interactive, to take part in this interaction. And although we cannot communicate directly, but you can mentally give answers. So my question to you is, if you want to get rid of your suffering, what degree of suffering you want to get rid of? 10%, 40%, 80%, or 100%? Likewise, given that you want happiness, my question to you is, what degree of happiness do you see? 10%, 50%, or 100%? And naturally, all of us, whether you're boy or girl, it is educated or uneducated, it doesn't matter. What religion you belong to, it doesn't matter. You're a believer or non-believer, it doesn't matter. We all seek to get rid of 100% of the suffering and to have the 100% of the happiness, which means the infinite happiness. Okay, my next question. Can we achieve that? This is the question. The answer is, of course, yes. Of course, yes. But some of you may be very apprehensive. It doesn't matter. You can, whatever thoughts you have, whatever you're feeling, you are free. This is how we have to begin. If we don't begin with our free thinking, or if we don't begin with our own thinking process, and then what we learn becomes very superficial. It will have no benefit to getting happiness and to get rid of suffering. So if you have oh, can I really have the 100% happiness, or can I really get free of all the suffering? This is where we need to take note of. Charles Darwin evolutionary theory. So according to Charles Darwin evolutionary theory, what he said is that the world, the universe, which the physicists believe to be like 15 billion years ago, and then this solar system, or the world, came into being like the 4.7 billion years ago, and then the water on this planet Earth around the same time, and then the first organisms began at the 4 billion years ago. Then the Homo sapiens began 0.3 million years ago, and from there, then gradually the thought processes, they become more and more sophisticated. The brain became more and more sophisticated and matured, and then all the sophisticated emotions develop over time, over the stretch of millions of years. So with this in mind, the question is that can I really have the maximum happiness or 100% happiness, and can I really get rid of the suffering? According to Charles Darwin's evolutionary theory, it's not possible, because that you are gifted with the evolutionary instincts of attachment, anger, hatred, fear, and these are what Charles Darwin call as the evolutionary instincts and gifts. And in a way, these emotions are required for you to survive. Say, for example, for you to survive, the factors, what will help you to get them is your anger. So the anger is instinct the untired, which then to better fear. Charles Darwin said, as required, it is gifted as an instinct, as a way it means to run away from the threats. Because if you don't know how to run away, if that tiger comes next to you, if you don't know how to run away, automatically you'll be killed, you'll be eaten up. So therefore, these basic emotions are they are developed over a stretch of the millions of years, since the organisms till the Homo sapiens till today. So that is developed, and then this cannot be gotten rid of like this. So whereas the classical Indian psychology, classical Indian philosophy and psychology says that this is too simplistic, the thought process. We can get rid of these things. In the first place, the point is that when the fear is there, which Charles Darwin says as an instinct. With the fear, we are not happy. The fear, nobody wants fear. Which means that with the fear, that is instinct. If this is something which arises spontaneously and is out of our control, out of hand, then we can't really have we can't really get rid of all the sufferings. Whereas the classical Indian psychology says that this is not true. So how not true? So let us not forget this. What the Buddha said, that this is a very important point. In fact, when I was in Cambridge in England, as a part of the Cambridge program, I was a fellowship there. So there I met several physicists, and I personally have let's say flair or inclination towards physics. The mathematics, when I was in school, I was fond of mathematics, but now and then of course later when physics was introduced, I was so keen on physics. And then because of that, when I was in England, Cambridge, I met many of the physicists. And one of the physicists He said that in this world, only physics is education, on all others are not education. And I was quite taken aback. And then I asked him, any reasons here? He said, okay, let's all listen to what he has to say. He said, only physics allows you to have a critical thinking. All others are emulation of the earlier teachers. Okay, then I told him that, okay, if this is the reason, and this is the reason there in support, to support what you're saying. So listen what the Buddha has to say. And then I quoted the Buddha statement. This is extremely, this is coming from the Indian tradition, Indian classical tradition. This is so precious. And this is where the modern science and the classical Indian thoughts merge to look for the reality through empirical reasoning. And I cited where the Buddha said, wise men and the monks, just as the goldsmith tests the purity of the gold by cutting, rubbing, and burning the gold, you should also examine my words and put them into practice, not simply because you respect me. And he was silent for a few seconds. Then he said, oh, the Buddha must have been a great physicist. In fact, the Buddha is just one of the examples. In India in those days, all the brilliant traditions were there, like Samkhya, Vedanta, Mimamsaka, Jainism, and then the Vaishistics, Nyaya, all these traditions were there. Amazingly brilliant intellectual traditions were there. This is one part. So from there, and the basic idea is that these, according to the classical Indian traditions, these instincts, even what Charles Darwin calls as the instincts, even they can be rectified, and your fear can be gone rid of completely. For example, today, in the face of the coronavirus, the COVID-19, there's so much of fear spreading everywhere. Anxiety, they become anxiety, panic attack, and so forth. And even many of the children of the affluent families, they become restless. The parents don't know how to manage their children. So these are the things happening, and this is all because there is this the basic emotion of fear, anxiety, anguish, and whether or not this can be curbed. Answer is yes. And how? How? This is the point. How? For this, I like say mentally or physically, up to you. Up to you. Okay. Albert Einstein, what he said was that all the problems of this world, they are because of our short-sightedness, of seeing the very small circle of compassion and seeing the rest of the world as your enemies, or as your as your enemies, or as your the people you don't like. And you have a very small circle of compassion, small circle of people who you love. So that creates a sense of we, I, and you. So this distinction, when created, there is not going to be any hope of happiness on this world. And then the other side will also create problem on you. So we don't feel safe. So this is what is happening. This is what defines unhappiness. This is what defines the anxiety, depression, and so forth. So now the question is whether or not this can be overturned or can be gone rid of. Okay, for that, just imagine you stretch out your two hands and then just see what I'm doing. Oh, okay. What happened? The sound of a clap erupted. Why? Because the two hands coming together. So the sound of the clap, this is metaphor for our emotions of fear, anxiety, depression, anguish, and distress, and so forth. And these emotions, which we dislike, they invariably like the metaphor that I gave you of the sound of clap. It necessarily should arise by the combination of the two hands. The two hands, one hand symbolizing external factors and the other hand symbolizing internal factors. When the two hands come together, invariably the sound of the miseries erupt. Anxiety, depression, anguish, and so forth arise. So now the point is that what are these two hands? The two hands, they are the metaphors for the external factors and the internal factors. So external factors, for example, let's say that the coronavirus lockdown, social distancing, and the more intense form, lockdown. So with the lockdown, say lockdown in a red zone. So there we see that you can't even really get out of your house. So then what we tend to do is that we tend to become a little over time. After a few days, like 10 days, 15 days, then we will start panicking. And then this panic is the eruption of the sound of clap, which I told you is because of two hands. So one hand is the external factor that you are not allowed to go out. There's a lockdown, no going out. And internal factor is something inside. There are two things there. There are two things: external factor lockdown and internal factors inside. These two things come together, then the sound of the becoming panicky, the sound of the clap, symbolizing the becoming panicky or anxiety that comes into being. So now, of the two hands, just imagine the lockdown is there. Okay, let's say of the two hands, one symbolizing external factors. How many such external factors are there? This is the question. How many such external factors are there? Okay, the lockdown is one external factor. If the lockdown is not there, then small children, you have to go to schools, you have to go to colleges and universities, and then you're bound to meet with difficult people. And again, you say that, oh, it's so bad not to meet with this person. I hate going to college. I hate going to the university. I hate going to school. People bully me. People are being very judgmental and so forth. And whereas there is no school, no colleges at home, I feel so panicky. I feel so bored. So no, either you go out or you are inside. And there's no third way. In both ways, there's a problem. So now we see the external factors. My question to you is, how many such external factors are there which can potentially erupt into the sound of clap, like the miseries or anxieties and unhappiness? How many such external factors are innumerable external factors are there? So for example, if you're by yourself, if I keep you by yourself, you'll say that I'm so lonely. And if I put you with other people, you say that I have no privacy. Again, look, external factors. Number one, there are innumerable external factors, and you put A or non-A, both ways you have a problem. So now from this we come to realize the wise people will think of this, the external factors. So I'm alone, there's a problem. I'm with other people, there's a problem. So because of ways, so I don't want this problem. So how to get rid of this problem? If we know that this problem only was the external factors, the two hands coming together. So the wise people, instead of the two hands, instead of thinking of getting rid of the external factors, they will rid of the internal factors. Remove the internal factors, then it becomes only one hand. Only one hand. No sound. Sound of the misery stabs. This is the approach of the wise people. This is the approach of the classical Indian great saints. And even in the West, Jesus Christ. Amazing. He just got rid of the internal factors, and deep inside him, there's always happiness. And the Prophet Muhammad. And then in India, for example, like Ram, Krishna. And then Guru Nanak is an amazing example. And then Baha'u'llah, and the Bab, amazing figures who really got rid of the internal factors. And the external factors, however harsh they are, no sound, no mental disturbance. This is how the wise people approach. So, having said this, you may be wondering as to what is that internal factor, or what are the internal factors. The internal factors, there are two. One is ignorance, and the other is self-centered attitude. Ignorance and self-centered attitude. So these two internal factors, unless and until we are able to first of all identify them, and then the resort to remedies to overcome these two internal factors, no matter what we do, there's always coming together of the two hands, and miseries ensue. This is what is bound to happen. So the two factors, one is ignorance, and one is the self-centered attitude. Ignorance. Okay, let's say ignorance. Okay, say the 5 years ago. 5 years ago, there was one boy. It came in the news, the newspaper. There was a boy, and who had the motorbike, and a bus simply hit the motorbike very gently, and may have created a little bit of scratch to the motorbike. And the young boy who was driving the motorbike, he was so angry, and he was with his mother. And then what he did was that he just pulled down the bus driver and beat him so hard, and on the bus driver died. And the boy, who was supported by the mother, both of them were taken to prison. And then the boy lost his job, and most likely the lifelong imprisonment or capital punishment. We don't know, lifelong imprisonment. And he lost whole life investment for whole life. Whereas before this incident happened, if you give a choice to him, one, okay, the bike is going to be hit by the bus and it is going to have a scratch, and you have two choices. Either you fight with the bus driver, kill him, and both of you will end up, you and your mother will end up in prison. And then so this scratch can be fixed just by paying 2,000 rupees to the mechanic. And whereas instead of doing that, out of you kill the bus driver, you end up in prison with your mother, and then you lose the lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of rupees of your, let's say, otherwise you can save this much money by working for so many years. You lose all these, and your mother, the poor mother, has to end up in prison. So these are all the unfortunate things happening. This one scenario. Another thing, be wise, be sane. Okay, if I go to prison, this is terrible. This is not what I should do to my mother. So instead, if the second choice is just to pay 2,000 rupees and fix his car, I'll do it. For sure, this boy will choose that. But why did the boy did not choose this in reality? Because he was driven with the ignorance. He could not see what is the proper way to do, what is the proper way to deal with the situation. So this is out of ignorance. So ignorance, instead of helping us, it only harms us. Ignorance comes in the facade of guarding us, helping us. Actually, it harms us. Number one. Number two, self-centered attitude. For example, say in a family of like three or four children, and this is my experience, your experience. And if you are only just one child, then you look at other children, the other school children who have like brothers, sisters, and so forth, how they behave. You converse with them, then things will become very clear. In the family, if there is one child who is very selfish, or one family member, not necessarily the child, the brother, the sister, the father, mother, or whoever, if there is one person who's very selfish, the whole family will become very unhappy. And selfishness is less if the selfish people are not there. The family is very cordial and extremely warm and happy. So the end, overall speaking, the selfish people, they are very unhappy. More the selfish we are, more the unhappiness. So those people who are totally so kind, the epitome of kindness, like Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, who just selflessly worked for the citizens of India. It's amazing. So we see that with the selfishness, it makes your circle very small and makes you say so congested, and then the rest of the world becomes your enemy. Whereas if you remove the selfishness, you become more expansive, cooperative, then the adjusting, then the bigger circle you see as friends. So the selfishness is also a great, great sign of weakness. So these are the two factors: ignorance and the selfishness. So the next question, I know you are waiting for the next question: how to resolve that? To get rid of the ignorance, we have to say the ignorance is like darkness. In dark, we don't see what is around you. Just as with the ignorance, you don't see the reality. And darkness also obscures the vision of reality. Now, how do you get into the darkness? Instead of saying prayers, oh God, oh Buddha, oh Bahula, oh Christ, oh Krishna, oh the Prophet Muhammad, Guru Nanak, please remove the darkness. This is extremely unwise. So these enlightened beings will be very happy. Instead of just saying of the empty prayer, you light a candle. They'll be so happy. So from this, what we learn is that just as it is through lighting the lamp that the darkness can be eradicated, likewise, it is only through introducing the light of the wisdom that the darkness of ignorance can be eradicated. So the next question. Okay, what is this wisdom? The wisdom to see the world as interdependent. If I know that I'm going to say this, the small children, very young children, all of us, when we are age 4, 5, when we are so vulnerable, so badly vulnerable, we are dependent on our parents. How much you love your parents, because you feel the dependency. They are dependent for everything, food, clothing, and then the love. Then somebody bullies you, your parents come to save you. So there we see that you are heavily dependent on our parents, and when you see this dependence, automatically your love builds up. So now the coronavirus, COVID-19, gave us such an amazingly precious mirror to see the interdependent nature of the world. Not that we're independent, it tells us that we're interdependent. Look at what happened to just one tiny virus, which is with some DNA molecules inside, then surrounded and wrapped in some fatty tissues. That's it, just a tiny cell, not even a cell, just a tiny substance, the DNA wrapped in the fatty tissues, some fatty tissues, tiny, very thin layer of fatty tissue. That's it. One tiny the virus from Wuhan, it just spread, and then look, it affected the whole world. So, for example, if one country, say, the blast a missile to your country, then it will come on the news, and then you will fight. The virus, it attacked the whole world. And then say, so this bomb, one country throws to your country, and it kills, say, like 10 people, and it make a news, and everybody's so angry, will fight towards the other country, and so forth. And you will also send the retaliatory the missiles and so forth. But the virus, no, we can't do anything. It kills not 10, it kills hundreds of thousands of people. It affected millions of people, and it simply drained. Say the trillions of dollars of the whole world economy. This is what happened, and yet we have to struggle to save our own people. We have to struggle. So the money, the economy is lost. So we just let it go. Save the people. Save the greater potential danger in the future, to save us, to save the people of your country from going through the potentially danger of the greater danger in the future. So this is the emphasis at the moment. This is the priority at the moment. So this tells us how interconnected we are. And even if, for example, say India is able to contain the virus so well, if something is happening in some other countries where the negligence is happening, anybody from that country can travel to another country to another and come to India, and again spread can happen. Symptomatic and asymptomatic, both are there. So from this we come to realize that the world is so heavily interdependent, and many of the intelligent people, they know about this, they're aware of that, and it's the responsibility of the intelligent people to create this, bring this awareness to the masses. In other words, bring this wisdom of interdependency to the masses. One, with this wisdom, then the ignorance is dispelled. Then with this, what happens is that this selfishness will be eradicated. Then we see that we are interdependent. We should come in solidarity. We should come in together. The world should come as a one entity. We should not remain divided. The world should come into as one entity, and the whole whole segments of the nation should come together as one entity, all as brothers and sisters, not as enemies. So that will help us. When you incorporate everybody there, then the selfishness that me, my religion, my client, my clan, my ethnicity, so that will be demolished, that will be dissolved, and that you will see the oneness of the religion, compassion, the loving kindness as the religion, and the oneness of the ethnicity of we all. So with this, the selfishness is gone, and then when the selfishness is gone, then the love and affection comes into the play. Love and affection will imbue the world. Love and the affection will embrace the world. So where the love and affection embraces, become vibrant, the world is happy. The family, where the love and affection dominates the family, that family is happy. Where the love and affection is missing, where the domestic violence is happening, it's a clear indication that there's no spiritual love and affection. Where the love and affection is not there, the happiness will never be there. So where we are hoping for the world peace and happiness to the world, happiness to the country, happiness to the family, the key is to get rid of the two factors. We get rid of the internal factor, the ignorance of seeing things as independent, and the selfishness, which only looks after one's own benefit and disregard others' benefit. These two must be gotten rid of by cultivating the wisdom of understanding interdependency. On that basis, to embrace the whole family, embrace the whole nation, embrace all religions, embrace the whole world with love and affection. So this is universal ethics, the understanding, the wisdom of interdependency, and on the basis of which then the universal love and affection is built. These two form the basic two pillars of the universal ethics to bring about the harmony, the happiness of the nation and of the world. And finally, the greatest of the hope lies in the youngsters. Youngsters, think of the interdependency more on that basis. Think of embracing others with love and affection. This will guarantee that you are the incredibly precious ambassador of the world, ambassador of compassion, and the ambassador of the wisdom for the betterment of the world. Thank you so much. Thank you all, wonderful boys and girls, and all the members of Speak McCabe, and particularly my thank goes to Dr. Karen Said for this incredible vision of creating this Speak McCabe, getting this message of universal ethics available to all the wonderful boys and girls. Thank you so much, and have a nice day. Be happy.
I hope Geshe is still there.
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Oh, Geshe, we have a few questions
Yes,
from.
yes, sure.
So one of the question, one of the our YouTube view, he asked that she asked that even the suffering, no, she asked even the all the sources of joy and happiness, they also finally become resultant as a suffering. Uh, Experientially, that's what happened. So her question is how to uh, analyze this from a Buddhist point of view.
Okay, so basically, I don't want to address it from Buddhist point of view. I want to address it from the universal point of view. Universal, say for experience of love and affection, this is universal value. It is not a Buddhist value. Of course, there's a value taught in Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, Sikhism, Jainism, and then the Baha'i, Zoroastrianism. It is taught in all these religions, but this is a universal value, compassion, love. This is so important, and this question is extremely pertinent and extremely realistic, practical question, given that when you are more compassionate, then oftentimes people abuse your compassion. So this is what happens. So it ends up in your own miseries. Now the question is, compassion, there are two kinds. One is a common compassion, ordinary compassion, and the other one is skilled compassion. Compassion with skillfulness. So now what we have to learn is we have to learn the compassion with skillfulness. This is the compassion grounded on understanding the interdependency. So with this, what happens is that if you know, you have to know what are the factors dependent upon which this person takes advantage of my compassion. If you know these factors, remove these factors. Oftentimes the factors include other person taking advantage of your compassion. Okay, you attend to this lecture, universal ethics lecture. Oh, I should be more compassionate. Then you go out to a store or to your college and be trying to be more compassionate. And then people start, oh, so this girl is changed now. Now the girl is a little soft. Okay, now the person starts taking advantage. So there, then you start to suffer more. So even the act of making happiness becomes a source of suffering, but this requires skillfulness. So where you know that this person is taking advantage of me, my compassion, because of because of what? What are the factors? Dependent origination, interdependency, dependency on what factor? On the factor that the person thinks that I am weak, I'm foolish. So what you do is that you have to get rid of this mindset from the other person by sending a message across, say remaining steadfast, and keep a little distance, from this person. Not do good, not do bad. Keep a little distance for the time being, and the person will get a message. Oh, I thought that this girl is very soft and tender and very compassionate and very stupid. But no, this girl is very smart. Now she knows that what I'm thinking, so she has started to keep distance. And when you meet once in a while, just don't show any anger. Just remain very calm, peaceful, say hi, and again leave. Then the person gets a very strong message that this girl is very smart. So on top of that, then later on, whenever there's an opportunity to help the person, help. Again, keep a distance. Then this person will see that you are very smart and also very compassionate. So seeing that you're compassionate, the person's mind will be soft. And seeing that you are very smart, the person will surrender to you. So this compassion will make the others surrender instead of make the other person take advantage of you. So this is skilled compassion. Second question. Next question.
There is one more.
Geshe,
Yes, Tiwari
can
ji.
I ask a question? I was just wondering that in this world of internet and media, a lot of ignorance is being spread. So, is it possible to have more and more people like you who can really spread this kind of wisdom as you are trying to? Because we find less and less
Okay.
the whole world of,
So
okay.
I got half of what you are saying. I got only half of what you're saying because the internet connection is not well. So I'll try to give the answer and see if I answer your question. If not, please feel free to continue the question. So basically, this world is filled with so now is dominated by the digital world, the social media, the digital social media, which spreads many wrong information. Whether or not there's a possibility for the correct information to be spread more to the youngsters. So if this is a question, I would say that this question is extremely important. Thank you so much for bringing this question, because the youngsters, they are greatly indoctrinated by Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and all these things. And these have so many good information, but they are the youngsters, they mostly hang after the information which are not really useful. So therefore, what I would say is that Speak McCabe, this is an incredible platform, and I would say that if Speak McCabe can organize these programs, bringing in scholars scholars with the heart, not only scholars with the heart, who have a heart for the nation, who have a heart for the youngsters, who have a heart for the world, who have a heart for the universality of the religions, who have the heart for the universality of the humanity, not just the one group, this group, small group, but the humanity. So if the Speak McCabe can take greater responsibility, this is amazing. The youngsters, we have the capacity to, the youngsters have a tremendous capacity to bring the change in the world in the future. So for that matter, the youngsters' minds must be fed with good information, and Speak McCabe can play a great role.
Thank you, Geshe.
Keshala, there is one question. This is related to the dependency upon the gurus. Like does it mean that one must be guidance of spiritual guru to gain the universal peace and harmony? How much the role of a guru is important?
Okay, question. In fact, what I would say is that unless and until the guru that you see somebody as your guru, unless and until that person is really respected by all over, and you have seen with your own eyes the real heart and the knowledge and the experience translated into the good heart. If that is what is seen consistently, not just once, consistently, you can take that person as the guru, but not otherwise. You can take lesson from anybody. You can take lesson from anybody, and even if the person can be in question, but the person may say something good, you take it, and you take this message. It is not necessary. In other words, it is not necessary that you should identify somebody as a guru, spiritual guru, for you to grow in your harmony and happiness. It is not necessary. So for the time being, what I would suggest is that don't rush for gurus. Instead, rush for proper knowledge to enhance your heart, make you a happier person. This is what you should be doing. And then with this pursuit, over time, after about like 5 years, 10 years, so forth, then you meeting with many teachers, and of these somebody who you identified, somebody you identified as very reliable, consistently kind, consistently very mature, knowledgeable, and translating everything into the action of compassion, you can take that person as your guru. Otherwise, no hurry. This is my suggestion to you.
Another question, very short question, but interesting question. Can we ever all the religions of the world uniting into one faith?
Okay. In fact, this is something which the many people thought over many the many over the for millennia, over the last several millennia. People thought about it. People thought about unifying all the religions into one. Two, even if it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. So for the state, the there must, for example, in a family, we kept back all single become the president, prime minister of the country. We expect that. And the whereas knowing that some have strengths, some have weakness, and it is the responsibility of the parents to make sure that the children with the different potentials and the different weaknesses, they all grow the parents' responsibility is. Likewise, more thoughtful people, more sensible people, they should take the lead. They should take the lead like the parents to make sure that these religions, they don't conflict. Instead, and that we teach.
Yes, we can't hear Geshe-la.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
he's coming back. Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes, Geshe-la.
Okay. So we can't expect all the religions to come together, but to make into one religion, we can't make it. But what we can do is that the sensible people, they should behave like the parents to make sure that this world with the different religions, they come together in harmony. And what are the good things that you find in all these different religions? Bring them and let the world learn from the messages from these religions, and in fact treat all these different religions like a garden. If in the garden there is only one flower, the garden is a very boring garden. Whereas the garden with the multiple flowers is a beautiful garden. So therefore, with the multiple religions, it's good. There's nothing wrong in it. But the thing is that they are bound to be, say, there are bound people, social elements there in every religion. So we should make sure that all the like-minded people, all the sensible people from the different religions, they should come together and don't give chance to the social elements to use the religion to destroy the world. This is what my thoughts are. Thank you.
There is another very important question, especially for these days, that how to live in present now. And related to that, another question is there, how to get youngsters involved in the spiritual practices, and what initiative should be taken in this regard.
Okay. The number one is how to remain the concentrated, and number two, how to bring the youngsters into the spiritual practices. So let us not say, okay, we can say spiritual practice. Spiritual practice here, don't think about some isms, Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Jainism, like this. Instead, when it's spirituality, think of the spirituality of the compassion. Where there is compassion, Jesus Christ will be very happy. Whoever has compassion, whether whatever religion that you're following, if you have compassion, Jesus Christ will be very happy. Ram will be very happy. Prophet Muhammad will be very happy. Guru Nanak will be very happy. Buddha will be very happy. Zoroaster will be very happy. Bahula will be very happy. And then the Mahavir will be very happy. All these great teachers will be very happy if anybody from any religion has compassion. So the spirituality should be a spirituality not of an ism, but the spirituality of a compassion grounded on the wisdom of interdependency. This now the digital world and the modern education is a tremendous capacity where His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who is working for the world, not for Buddhism, not for Tibetans, but working for the world, says the world can have happiness, the world can be at peace only if there is the universal ethics, the ethics of the compassion, unconditional compassion towards all religions, towards all people of the world, towards all ethnicities, towards people from all walks of life and of the world. So this should be the spirituality that the youngsters should be embracing. Okay, Pranshuji, I cannot hear you. Okay, there's voice. There's no voice there. There's no sound. If there's something that I can do to.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Hear you. Okay, now I can hear you.
So there is one fine question we will take now. It's more related to the philosophical aspects of Buddhism. There is the question that does Buddhist philosophy endorse the human effort to reach a state of bliss where no duality exists, such as pain and pleasure, happiness and misery, right and wrong, good and bad? So this transcending the duality, what is the Buddhist position on that?
Okay, so basically, for this, the Speak Make platform, I personally want not to mix this with a specific religion. I want to make it very universal, So I don't really want to speak too much on Buddhism. I want to speak more from the universal, as the universal brotherhood and sisterhood. That's very important. But if somebody is interested, I'll be happy to discuss separately. So separately, to make it very quick, it's like, say, to gain the perfect bliss, there is what is known as the experience of the non-duality. A non-duality of the original subject, where all the dualities dissolve, and then you experience the infinite state where nothing can affect you. Nothing can affect you with the duality. So that experience is manifested in what is known as the transcendental bliss.
Thank you, Geshe. So we are almost we have reached 1 hour now. One of the curiosity which I'm having, and most of the people also who are viewing this video might be having, that how to spend this time taking some elements of Buddhism or universal wisdom in our day-to-day living and day-to-day practices. how you are spending your time, and what's your suggestion to for us to inculcate some of the wisdom element in our day-to-day course.
Okay, I did not hear you too well, but that from the pieces, small pieces I could hear, I heard that you are saying that in this time of the coronavirus, the lockdown, how can we use our time productively? How not to waste the time? How to use the time productively? This question. This is a very serious question. Thank you so much. And this is how many of the youngsters WhatsApp messages from my friends. Some of them are very honest. They say that I get up only at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and I go to bed like 1 o'clock, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., so forth. Okay, and then some are very honest in saying that my time simply go waste like this. So the how to manage. This is what many of my friends also asked the question, and this is so pertinent. Thank you, Dr. Pranchuji. So what I would suggest is that for the youngsters, no doubt you need a lot of sleep, no doubt. So what I would say is that in the time of lockdown, they say you take a good amount of sleep. For example, if you go to bed like 10, 11, then morning you can get up like 6, 7. You sleep for like 8 hours. Usually, while the scientists, they advise us to go for 8 hours sleep, but we only get about like 6 hours, and we go to school early, and there's a problem. So now with the lockdown, sleep 8 hours, right? And if your parents are very strict, I don't think the parents they're very strict. And now the children, they may be more dominating over the parents than the parents dominating the children. So therefore, I'll sleep like 8 hours and then get up by like 7, 8. Get up, and then they say you take a shower and they help your parents do a little bit of cleaning the house. And then do your exercise, do a little bit of exercise, don't be lazy, do a little bit of exercise. And then they say in the mornings, see if you can do a little bit of breathing meditation, very secular breathing meditation, sit upright, and then just focus your mind on the breath. Just empty your mind and focus your mind on the breath. Just breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 1, breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 2, just do that for like 21 times. 21 times is going to be like 1.5 minutes. Again, keep a short break, like few seconds, 10 seconds. Again, do the same meditation. This will greatly help you keep your mind fresh and focused. This is extremely important. Then in the mornings, make sure that you do some readings. Do some readings, sensible readings. Readings with very helpful philosophy books or helpful materials by the great teachers like Mahatma Gandhi's writings, and the many books. You can read Eric Handel's book, say the In Search of Memory. This In Search of Memory, this incredibly brilliant book, which is really easy to read. And then you can read, the other books by the other renowned scholars and renowned Nobel laureates. There are many books. You can read those books. And the one book that I would suggest for the universal ethics by His Holiness the Dalai Lama the title is Beyond Religion. This amazing book. You must read that book. I would highly recommend you to read this book. And then the same in the afternoons, again, if you want to watch the television, you can watch a little bit, not too much. It will really make your brain shrink. Don't do that too much. Just keep yourself updated. And then with the social media, don't spend like too much time on this. 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours on this is totally waste of time, and your brain will shrink. Literally, your brain will shrink if you overly do go into the trivialities through the social media like Instagram, and so it's total waste of time. Keep yourself updated with what is happening in your country, what is happening in your surrounding. Keep yourself updated. For that matter, you can go to the social media for like maybe at the most like 1 hour. Finish. Don't go for like 3, 4, 5 hours. Don't waste your time. Your youth is so precious, and make sure that you feed your brain, this precious brain, with the very constructive materials, reading materials. Now is a great opportunity. We're locked down in any ways. We are at home, and you spend time with your parents, spend time with your siblings, and then spend time reading books. If you're younger siblings, then try to teach them something. What you read, share with them, share with your parents. This will be incredibly great opportunity for you to grow spiritually.
So we are almost 1 hour, 5 minutes now. I think we should conclude the session by thanking you, Geshe.
Thank you.
It was a really joy and honor to have you amongst us, sharing
Hello.
your, the
Hello.
enormous wisdom in very simple manner. And lots of still lots of questions are there from our YouTube viewers, but there is a time limit, so we'll conclude here. And again, thank you so much. We are also thankful to Pankaj ji, who coordinated the session, Rahul, Tiwari ji, and all the Abhishek at the back end. And, thank you, and Tashi Dile, Geshe.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.